Traditionally, information has been organized in different formats as a result of the time it took to gather and publish the information. For example, the purpose of news reporting is to inform the public about the basic facts of an event. This information needs to be disseminated quickly, so it is published daily to print, online, on broadcast television, and radio media. More in depth treatment of information takes longer to research, write, and publish, and traditionally was published in scholarly journals and books. Today, information is still published in traditional formats as well as in newly evolving formats on the internet. These can include electronic journals, books, news websites, X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and many more. The coexistence of all these information formats is messy and chaotic. The process for finding relevant information is not always clear. Social media has taken the main stage regarding how we get our information. Facebook posts, Instagram reels, TikToks, and the like have made information creators of us all and have a strong influence not just on how we communicate with each other, but also on how we learn about current events. Anyone can create or contribute to social media, whether they're an expert in a topic or not, and most information posted isn't fact checked beforehand. This makes it incredibly difficult to differentiate the truth from misinformation. And, due to the immediacy of social media, it'll generally be one of the first places you'll learn about a current event or topic. Since social media doesn't always go through a period of editing and research, it isn't the best source to depend on when doing your own research. Let's take a look at news articles and magazines. News articles are written by journalists who either report on an event they have witnessed firsthand or after interviewing those more directly involved. The focus of a news article is on information that is of immediate interest to the public and are written in a way that the public will be able to understand. These articles go through a fact checking process, but when a story is big and the goal is to inform readers of urgent or timely information, inaccuracies may occur. Although articles may be written and printed quickly, they're generally considered more credible than a social media post due to an information expert writing and researching the article, a journalist, and the article being edited, proofread, and fact checked by various people before the article is printed. While news articles and social media tend to concentrate on what happened, how it happened, who it happened to, and where it happened, magazine articles are more about understanding why something happened, usually with the benefit of at least a little hindsight. Writers of magazine articles also fall into the journalist category and rely heavily on investigation and interviews for research. Fact checking in magazine articles tend to be more accurate. That's because magazines are published less frequently than news outlets and have more time to get the facts right. Depending on the focus of the magazine, articles may cover current events or just items of general interest to the intended audience. The language may be more emotional or dramatic than the factual tone of a news article, but the articles are written at a similar reading level to appeal to the widest audience as possible. A magazine article is considered a popular source rather than a scholarly one, which gives it less weight in the research context but doesn't take away the value completely. Next, let's cover scholarly articles. Scholarly articles generally describe formal research studies or experiments conducted to provide new insight on a topic rather than reporting current events or items of general interest. They are written by and for experts in a field, and the author is usually written about research that they themselves have conducted. You may have heard of the term peer review in relation to scholarly articles. This means that before an article is published, it undergoes a review process to confirm that the information is accurate and the research it discusses is valid. This process adds a level of credibility to the article that you would not find in a magazine or newspaper article. One drawback to scholarly articles is the length of time it takes for them to get published. It takes time for the author to conduct the research thoroughly, write about said research, check it for accuracy, submit it to the journal publisher, have them send it for peer review, and so on. Scholarly articles often contain references to other scholarly articles, showing that the authors are building upon previous knowledge. Newspapers and magazines do not generally have references. Scholarly articles tend to be long and feature specialized language that is not easily understood by someone who does not already have some level of expertise on the topic. Though they may not be easy to use, they carry a lot of weight in a research context, especially if you are working in a field related to science or technology. These sources will give you information to build on in your own research. Lastly, let's talk about books, since we are a library. A topic can be covered in more depth in a book than in most other types of sources. The conventional wisdom for books is that anyone can write one, but only the best ones get published. This is becoming less true as books are published in a wider variety of formats and via a wider variety of venues than in previous eras, which is something to be aware of when using a book for research purposes. For now, the editing process for formally published books is still in place, and research topics like literature and history continue to be published primarily in this format. Scholarly books, like scholarly articles, are usually written by experts on the topic, use fact checking, include references, and are written for an audience who is already familiar with the topic. Some scholarly books have multiple authors with an editor of the overall book and a different author for each chapter, each covering a different aspect of the book's main topic. Now you know about the different types of information resources. If you still have questions, please contact the NU Library and a librarian will be happy to help you. Remember, there are no stupid questions. We're here to help.